Hello folks and welcome back to Shogun Total War. I am Kanastep and this is going to be part 1 of my 1530 campaign where I'm playing as Clan Oda. And for those of you who are longtime viewers and subscribers to this channel, welcome back. Yeah, it's always fun to have you around. There's been a lot of good activity around this channel, especially really growing in the last year, I suppose. And it's been really fun for me, and it is what makes this, running this channel rewarding. So yeah, it's good to have you back. For those of you who are new to this channel, let me introduce this channel to you. I am essentially just going through the Total War franchise and playing each of the games. I am celebrating each game on its 20th anniversary and then essentially playing that game for its 2 years of game life in the case of the first few games in the Total War franchise. So obviously my main focus right now is on Medieval Total War because that came out in the year 2002, and I did start covering that game on this channel a little over a year ago. So the reason why I'm still playing Shogun though is just to do kind of a throwback Thursday kind of deal, except not always on Thursday. And there is still campaigns for me to play in this game, and I'm still enjoying it. So yeah, that's kind of the idea here. With that being said, I am relatively unfamiliar with the franchise. I've watched a lot of Total War on YouTube. I know a lot about the franchise just through watching it, but I hadn't actually played any of the games until I started this channel. With that being said, I do still practice a lot of these campaigns before I start recording, so I'm not completely new to it. In this case, since I have been playing Shogun for about 3.5 years now, I know my way around the game pretty well. But that's the idea going forward. If you, for instance, join this channel and you are around when I start playing Rome later this year, you will see someone who will not have the thousands of hours of experience that some of y'all might have, but I will have a few hundred hours of experience just to make sure I know my way around the game. This isn't about me showcasing new games, obviously, so I'm not trying to waste your time fumbling about. I want to at least know my way around. So in this case, okay, that's the introduction for the channel. That's just so you know what this is all about. Now let me jump on in. I want to play expert difficulty, and then I will be playing the 1530 campaign, and I just finished my Shimazu campaign, my Shimazu 1530 campaign earlier this week, and I do intend on playing all of these factions in this campaign. I already have played the entire Sengoku Jedi campaign. By comparison, the 1530 campaign has a much slower start. It's pretty it's a work of labor for sure. There's a lot of rebel territories, as you can see in this map. All of that white area is rebel territory, and they all essentially work together. If you attack one of those provinces, then all of the other provinces could potentially gang up on you. And that makes expansion in the early game very stressful and really slow. So you have to really consider the provinces that you're going to take, because you can't just expand willy-nilly. You really have to make sure you pick places that are going to be worth your money, for instance. Playing as the Shimazu was relatively easy because they are relatively isolated here in Kyushu. But today I will be playing as the Oda clan, and they are smack dab in the middle of Japan. So they have a lot to chew through, and I can just kind of read this off to you. For those of you who are new to this game, the Oda are implacable and fearful enemies to any who dare oppose them. They are prepared to go to war against rival clans and Buddhist monks alike in their relentless pursuit of power. Their tactics may lack subtlety, but they are effective. Leave no opponents alive. Strategic advantages: the Oda can recruit and maintain Yari Ashigaru for lower cost, and nearby important resources is going to be I'll talk more about that stuff when I get into the map itself. It's easier to kind of talk about the strategic, the opening moves for the Oda clan with the map. So without further ado, we do have a cutscene movie to kind of jump on into. So I'm gonna press start game and let that play out.
As was my father, I was born with a sword in my hand. I will spend my life in battle with that sword, and I will die fighting or see my enemies dead before me. This has always been the way in my land. That was my father's way, and I honor his memory. Perhaps my son will honor mine. Once the Shogun kept order in Japan, and the emperor cared for all of us under heaven. There was peace between the daimyo, the great lords that owned the land. But that was a lifetime ago. One day, a daimyo will come to save Japan and bring peace. But will I be the one? Will I see this come to pass?
Dope. It's pretty impressive to me that they actually made an entirely different video introduction movie for the 1530 campaign as opposed to the Sengoku Jedi campaign. I wonder if the 1550 campaign and the 1580 campaign also have different opening videos. That'd be really, really, really neat. So, forewarning for those of you who are new to this channel, and yes, those of you who have been watching for a while probably know what I'm about to say here, but I can get very long-winded. I like to explain things a lot. I like to explain my thought processes, and I like to explain the situation. It's just that when I watch videos like these, when I watch channels like this, that's how I like to watch things. I like to watch people that actually explain, what's going on, and that's the channel that I've made. So just a forewarning, if you're not in for like a lot of talking, that's pretty much all of this first episode's going to be. I will play through a few turns, but there's not going to be a whole lot of action. So I don't want to waste your time if you're, kind of jumping on in, hoping to, get an action-packed first episode. You might still want to stick around just for the rest of the campaign when things start to pick up. But in the beginning, at least for this episode, things will be slow. So again, I don't want to waste your time here. And if that's the case, I'll see you in a couple episodes. But for those of you who are sticking around, here's the opening situation. And there's some good news and bad news. The good news is that we own Owari. Owari is not bad as a, starting an initial province. Compared to the Shimazu started off with, I want to say like two or three provinces, which felt kind of nice. In this case, Owari is surrounded, and there's multiple directions that I could go. However, it is a river province. You can tell that by the river going right through it, which means that on the battle map, if anyone attacks me, I will be fighting a river battle. Owari isn't unique. It's the only river battle map in the entire game that has 2 bridge crossings instead of just 1. So it is slightly harder to defend as opposed to the other ones where you just have to defend 1 choke point. There is going to be 2 choke points. However, something that is interesting with the AI and its behavior towards attacking river provinces is that it knows that it's a river province. Like if they're any other river province, they know that it's a river province, and they know that they need to really marshal a lot of forces before they are ready to attack that river province. Now, can they tell the difference between a single crossing river province and a double crossing river province? That I don't know. In my experience, I don't think they do. I don't think they can scout or look at Owari and say, hey, that's a little bit easier to take than Mikawa, which is a single bridge river crossing. So what this means is that you can kind of defend it with not a lot of troops, especially in the beginning. You can kind of leave a token force in Owari and attack outward, and they will be hesitant to attack. And that's a really, really good thing. Also, in addition to that, Owari is the richest province when it comes to farm income in the entire game. What is it going to make? 650 right off the bat. I think Hitachi is like right beneath that. And I think Musashi as well. I think these 2 provinces are right beneath Owari. But then, yeah, Owari 650. That is very, very good. That's a good income, especially because right now that's my only income, I believe. So those are a few good things. Also, Owari also is going to give a honor bonus for Ashigaru that's going to be trained here, and that is like the chef's kiss right there. I think a lot of folks that play this game might laugh at the Ashigaru, and I think that's their mistake. I think the Ashigaru is a very potent and very formidable force. Now, I say that you're going to see me losing a lot of Ashigaru, and you're going to see me maybe even losing battles because my Ashigaru have abandoned me, despite me saying nice things about them. But there's ways to make it work, you know. The Ashigaru is a peasant force. In fact, I have some of them right here, so I can read this to you. The standard Ashigaru is equipped with light armor and a yari, a long spear. They are conscripted peasants and poorly trained, but often form the mainstay of samurai armies. When their fear of the enemy exceeds their fear of their masters, they often waver. They operate best when kept in tight formation, where their long spears give them an advantage, particularly against cavalry. So why does that work? Well, for one thing, as I just mentioned, Owari gives an honor bonus. Well, what does that do? Every point of honor is going to give 2 points of morale, and then 1 point of attack, and then 1 point of defense. So that's a significant buff to a unit. Giving Ashigaru +2 morale, +1 attack, +1 defense is going to make them more formidable. In addition to that, though, the Oda can recruit and maintain Yari Ashigaru for a lower cost. So Yari Ashigaru typically are going to cost 100 koku to train. In this case, I can train them for only 75 koku, which again is very good. That's very good. So that's pretty much the only unit that I'm going to be training here in Owari for quite a while. And it's not going to take much for me to get the famous Spear Dojo. I need to get a large castle first, which is my tier 2 castle building. And once I have this, then I can build a famous Spear Dojo, which is a very cheap building. It only takes 2 turns to build. And that's going to give my spear units, my Yari Samurai and my Yari Ashigaru, an additional +1 honor bonus. So then, just like that, you know, my Yari Ashigaru being trained here in Owari is going to be getting +2 honor, which is very good. Also, they can get bonuses from their generals. In this case, my daimyo is a 3-star general, and he also has an heir who is already of age in this archer unit right here, Oda Nobuhiro, and then his dad, the daimyo, Oda Nobuhide. These are both 3-star generals, and so what does that mean? Now, I've been trying to describe the star system and how it affects the honor or valor of the units under the leadership of these generals. I've been trying to describe this for 3.5 years now, and I still suck at this, so bear with me. For every 2 stars, it's going to add 1 point of honor to every friendly soldier on the battlefield. That's pretty good. But what does it mean if your general has an odd number of stars, right? Like a 3, or if he was just a 1-star general. What does that mean? Well, for every 1 star, this general will be adding +1 honor to everyone within a certain radius. It's like a 50-meter radius, whatever that means. I'm American, so it's close by, I think, is what that means. So, what this means is that he's going to be giving +1 honor to all of the units under his command, but then +3 honor to any unit that he's around. Since the daimyo is going to be placed within a 10-man bodyguard unit, 11, which includes himself, you can see that number in the top left corner is 11 total men in this unit. It's going to be heavy cav. It's not going to be super fast because it's heavy, but it's cavalry, and it's going to help him get around to the focal point on the battlefield and assist with his presence by giving that +3 points of honor. Now, I've been told recently that the honor that's given by generals does not increase morale. It just increases attack and defense, which is news to me, I suppose. Maybe I read that at some point, but then I was reminded of it just relatively recently, and that kind of caught me by surprise. But that is reported in a unit guide or a strategy guide written by a very prominent member of the Total War community, all those like 20 years ago. But the guide that she wrote is like a very well-respected guide. It's on the org for those of you who are familiar with that. So if this viewer reminded me of that, I trust that is true. So it's not going to be like as good, not giving that morale buff, but still giving them that attack and defense buff is going to be very useful. And they will, however, be getting that morale buff from the honor gained from buildings and provinces. It's a bit confusing. So if you have any questions about what I just said, feel free to ask me to clarify in the comment section down below. So as I was mentioning, I do have an heir who already is of age. He is in a samurai archer unit. This is not ideal for me. I do prefer my heirs to be in cav archer units because I want my heirs to be on a horse so that if anything goes bad, they can run away and survive. The deal is that if the family dies, then you lose the campaign. So right now, it's a good thing having an heir who is already alive. I don't think any other faction... God damn, do that? Yusugi does. Yeah, Yusugi does start with an heir who is also of age right away, but it's not a very common thing. So it's like getting 2 lives right at the beginning of the campaign. Not bad, eh? But he's on foot, so you have to keep him safe. You can't retrain him in any other way. You can't put him in another unit. What I can do is eventually give him more armor upgrades once I have that available to me, but that's going to be a while. So, yeah. Anyway, he's alive, and he is also a 3-star general, just like his dad. So that's not bad. It's not bad. It's it's average. 3 stars is kind of the average starting command for daimyos and some of the sons as well. Like we have a 4-star general right here, which is freaking Mikawa. These are the rebels, by the way. And we are surrounded by rebels. Yes, so where do we go from here? Let's see. So my army is going to be consisting of, well, my daimyo, my son, and the archer unit. 2 more archer units, so 3 in total, and then 3 units of Yari Ashigaru, and then 1 unit of Yari Samurai. The Yari Samurai are my professional spear troops. So the Yari Samurai is the mainstay of the Samurai army. The Yari is a long spear, making these troops very effective defending against mounted opponents. So long as the unit remains well ordered, they are good against most troop types. And then for the archers, Samurai archers provide an army with the ability to strike enemies from a distance. They are equipped with sword and bow, but are lightly armored and should avoid melee. They are best used as skirmishers to decimate massed infantry ranks from a distance without engaging in hand-to-hand combat. And then the bodyguard. So this is the daimyo and his hatamoto, the personal guard. They are handpicked and well armored and equipped. Their fast horses usually help keep the daimyo out of harm's way, except when the daimyo insists on getting into the thick of battle himself. There you have it. So I'm going to be going very, very, very Yari Ashigaru heavy in this campaign. In fact, when I was playing as the Shimazu in my last campaign, I went most of the campaign with just Yari Ashigaru as my mainstay infantry unit. Of course, they were bolstered by Nodachi Samurai and gun units and archers, Yari Cav. But as my spear unit, I stayed away from Yari Samurai for most of the campaign just because Yari Ashigaru have a half the amount of upkeep as Yari Samurai. Yari Samurai will be paying 60 koku per year for upkeep, and that's the same for all the other units. Samurai archers, the cav units, all units pay 60 koku per year as long as they are a 60-man unit, except for the Yari Ashigaru. They only pay 30 koku per year. That helps out a lot. That makes a big, big difference. Not only are you getting them for a cheaper cost at 75 koku, but man, only paying 30 koku per year for a unit of Yari Ashigaru goes a long way. Just because numbers really does matter in the early campaign. And also, on the battlefield, yeah, look, I get it. It's tricky. It can be hard to keep them in the fight. Their morale is bad. Their morale is -4. It's very, very bad. But I would say that one of the tricks that I learned to using Yari Ashigaru is, you're going to be using archers, obviously, as backing them up. They're going to be doing most of the killing. Archers cost 300 koku, so they are not cheap. And yeah, they'll be, consisting of most of the cost of my early armies. Yari Samurai, for comparison, costs 200 koku. But my Ashigaru just have to hold the line. And here's the thing. Here's the funny thing about the archers. Since they are also samurai, they tend to actually do a decent job of holding the line, well, better than the Ashigaru. Now, you don't want them to take cavalry charges. If there is enemy cavalry on the field, you do want your Ashigaru to take that charge. But anything else, like if you have monks coming at you, if you have warrior monks, by the way, are the best melee unit in the game. They're lightly armored, but they're very, very good at killing. And if you have to take a charge from them, you may as well take that charge from your archers because they will hold longer than your Ashigaru, and they can hold long enough to get Ashigaru behind your monks and then to flank, from behind, and hopefully you can break those monks' morale that way. That I find works better. It's how I won my Oda campaign on the Sengoku Jidai campaign. It's how I. The thing is with Central Japan is that it's full of warrior monks, tons of them. It's kind of a feature of this time period. In the early days of the Sengoku Jidai, Central Japan was ravaged by, was it the Onin War? That was the first war that started the Sengoku Jidai, I believe, right? And so it was kind of a religious movement that wanted to help the poor beleaguered classes, which of course bore the brunt of the aristocratic warfare of the samurai. And they kind of started their own little Robin Hood type thing where they were like, yeah, we're going to take care of ourselves, which, they had an argument to be made there for sure. And they had essentially this big old temple fortifications that they would establish themselves in. And they were very powerful in central Japan. They really had a big power base. Kaga was one of their main provinces. I know they had presence down here in Isa and down here in Ki as well. And I think wasn't Mount Hiei right above the capital, I think, wasn't it? Anyway, yeah, my history is a little spotty, but when the Oda clan was, establishing itself in central Japan, that was its primary opponent, was the Iko-Iki warrior monks. It wasn't, yes, there were some clans up here that had to be dealt with, and of course the Imagawa, but it was the Iko-Iki warrior monks that really posed a significant issue for the Oda clan when they were expanding themselves. And it's going to be the same problem for me. They are tough. As I said, warrior monks are the best melee unit in the game. And that's going to be making up a lot of the forces that I will be facing off against in the early campaign. And yes, guess what? With Ashigaru and archers. It's not easy. It's not easy. But hey, archers, the warrior monks are not wearing any armor. So archers can do a lot of damage with their arrows. And the Ashigaru can just be there for numbers and, flanking and stuff like that. They are fast. I'll give them that. They are fast. And with proper upgrades, they can eventually be able to hold the line well enough with proper upgrades, not at this stage in the campaign. So that's kind of the opening scenario for this clan. Now I want to talk a little bit about my practice when I was practicing this campaign. It's kind of tricky. It really is. I look isolated, but there's a bunch of really powerful northern clans right here. So I'm kind of isolated, but they're all right here. The Imagawa are here, the Takeda are here, the Hojo are in Sagami, the Usugi are here-ish. And then I think some of this is rebel territory. Yeah, anyway, but they're the northern clans are right freaking here. I'm separated by a couple. I think it's just these are rebel provinces separating me from the Imagawa here, and I think the Yusugi have Shinano. Maybe not, but that might be rebel at the beginning. Anyway, I'm not as isolated as I initially look. I'm kind of, but I have to kind of get things going here. And that involves taking land off of the warrior monks. Now, as I mentioned in the opening screen, when you attack one of the rebel provinces in this game, then you are at war with all rebels, which means that they could all attack you. As you can see from my initial starting position, that's scary because if I were to attack one of these provinces, then I could get attacked from 3 of the others. And although Omi and Mino and Mikawa only have 2 units apiece, you can tell just because of the amount of red that's on that white banner. I've been playing this game long enough to know that that equals 2 would be my guess. This is more than that, right? This would be 4, maybe even 5, 4 or 5, probably 4. And so if I were to attack one of these provinces, then I would be attacked at a worry from at least 6 units, if not more. So it's that's kind of a scary thing. It kind of means that you sort of should build up an army here in Owari that's first off, you need something that's strong enough to defend Owari, right? But then you need something else that's strong enough to attack that next province, but also hold it from a potential counterattack from the other provinces. If I were to attack Mino with a half stack and leave a half stack in Owari to defend this, okay, well, then Mino could be attacked from Omi, Wakasa, Echizen, and Hida, and Shinano. That's a lot of provinces bordering Mino, And since we're in central Japan, that's kind of the issue with a lot of these provinces. Omi borders Wakasa, Yamashiro, Iga, Ise. Mikawa borders Mino, Shinano, and the Imagawa down here. That's probably not the worst idea, but yeah, that's a river province, 4-star general, 2 units, but still, like, they would actually kind of fight kind of hard. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is that expanding is very, very difficult, and when I took the time in my practice campaigns to essentially build up like a half stack at a time every time I wanted to expand, that was a very, very slow expansion process. And here's the thing about central Japan. Even though these provinces are only lightly defended, Ise is a power base. This is going to grow. Yamashiro is going to be another power base of growing strength of warrior monks. And same with Kaga. And that's going to be 3 power bases of growing, like aggressively growing rebels in your area. These other provinces aren't going to grow much, I don't think. I think the provinces that started only with like 2 units don't do much. But Ise, Yamashiro, and Kaga are going to be kind of scary. And if you put yourself in a position where you can border Yamashiro, Ise, or Kaga, I already border Ise, but if I put myself in a position where I could, draw in, it's like walking around magnets, like if you were metal. It's like walking around, you're just going to attract these really powerful forces into this fight against you by, for instance, going up here to Echizen, bordering Kaga. They're going to be like, oh, that's a target. I can attack you. I had to learn this a hard way because when I take Central Japan, when I typically play a single Good Jedi campaign, I love taking the Owari, Mino, and Echizen line because this is the most defensible 3-province line in the entire game. River province, mountains, and crazy mountains up here in Echizen. I love defending Echizen, but not against an army of angry warrior monks. It's a little bit, yeah. But that was my first temptation, was take this 3 provinces, hold this line against the north, whatever may come, and then work my way into central Japan and occupy this territory. But then that's what would happen, is that I'm pulling in units up here, the Kaga Iko Iki, the Yamashiro Iko Iki, and the Ise Iko Iki. Man, try saying that 5 times fast. That ended up being a lot for me to deal with. I mean, heck, with the northern clans, just dealing with all those warrior monks at once was a lot for me to handle. So I started looking for another way to go about this. And the strategy that I've come across now I've not been able to fully test this. So there's going to be, we're going to have to learn some things together, you and me here on this channel, on this playthrough. But here's my idea. Owari, it's rich and it's defensible. What else in central Japan is rich and defensible? Well, that would be Kawachi. And Kawachi is stationed in sort of a strategic position that mirrors Owari, whereas Owari, in a way, kind of unlocks central Japan to the north. Well, Kawachi sort of unlocks central Japan from the south, in a way. And having these 2 river provinces, Kawachi is a traditional single crossing river province. Kawachi is also rich, has good agriculture. Not as good as Owari and not as good as Hitachi or Musashi, but it's good. It's worth an upgrade or 2 for sure. And it's going to be defensible, as I said. The thing is that it is right next to Yamashiro. Yes, that is scary, yes. But you know what? I would defend a river province against warrior monks. Yeah, I'll take that fight. Give me a couple archers and, have the warrior monks rush that bridge. Oh, yeah, I'll take that fight. I'll mow them down. So I'm okay with that. And from there, I was thinking, and I did get as far as this. From Kawachi and Owari, I can at least come down and take Ki. Ki's a decent province. And from that base of Kawachi, Ki, and Owari, I could build up enough forces to take Ise. And from there, Yamato and Iga are not very well defended. They're also not super profitable, honestly. But just as, taking those provinces to clear them out and get them out of the way, that's fine. And then from there, the idea was I could advance on Yamashiro and take that out. And that would go a long ways towards clearing out central Japan. Now, how far have I gone on this plan in practice? I've gone as far as taking Kawachi Ki Isa. That's as far as I got, and then I just didn't have time anymore to practice this campaign. I needed to eventually get around to recording this, and I was busy. This was during the holidays when I was playing this. I just didn't have time. So as you can see, that leaves a lot up to chance, right? Not chance. Like, I think that's a pretty good opening, but what happens after that? You know, like, how quickly will the northern factions consolidate into one conglomerate? Like one faction's gonna win, right, and put pressure on me from the north, and then someone's gonna start creeping up from the south too. So that's a slow opening, but at the same, like, do I have enough time? Like, do I have enough time? I just need to consolidate central Japan before I can, hold one position and then push in the other direction. Like, that's the idea. So it's going to be tricky. You might be wondering though, how the heck am I going to take Kawachi without first taking Omi and Yamashiro? Well. Welcome to Mr. Emissary. This man, can I not even show you what he does? Oh. Emissary. These are samurai trained in all the traditional arts and used as diplomats. They are sent to enemy daimyo on missions to propose treaties. All emissaries gain experience each time their mission succeeds. Experience is the only defense against ninja attack. They also act as spies, giving useful information on enemy defenses. So yeah, they're spies. They can get alliances with other factions. Getting those alliances in the early game is very, very, very important because that is a source of income. For every alliance that you have in Shogun Total War, you get 250 koku per year. And if you can, get a few alliances, you can be making up to 1,000 koku per year. Eventually, they're going to start to go to war with each other, and you're going to make less than that because you have to pick a faction over the other. But still, in the early game, like, that's a very, very, very good source of income, is getting those alliance deals in place. So typically, if I play any other faction, I'd be using my emissary to get those deals. However, the Oda emissary has a very important job to do, and that is race off to Kawachi and buy that rebel force that is defending Kawachi. Yeah, that's the job. That's the job. Here in Owari, there's not much to do. I'm going to start building an improved farmland for reasons I already stated. Owari is the richest agriculture in this game. A 20% increase is going to be good. It's cheap. 250 koku is very good. And then 4 turns is going to be a full year, obviously. That's how long it's going to take to build. That's it. That's all I'm going to spend money on. The rest of my money is going to have to be saved up for buying this rebel army here in Kawachi. I'm not even going to train any soldiers, like not even Ashigaru. I need all money on deck for buying that army in Kawachi. It's not expensive, but still, it's just like, it's things are tight in the beginning, That's a lot of talking. Am I ready to play my first turn? Oh, not quite. Let me explain a few more things. Agriculture in expert difficulty is very unreliable. In expert difficulty, you will be getting more poor harvests than you will be getting more good harvests. So that sucks, but it's still, you have to work with it. Owari is what you have. It's the richest province. Like, if I was when I'm playing as a southern clan, the southern clans like Shimazu and Mori don't have anything for good agriculture. It's not up until you get to these provinces that's worth spending any money on improving. The rest of this, though, I would never put a single agricultural upgrade in any of those provinces. It might be worth it in the super long run, but I just never think of it in the early game because I would rather spend my money on other things. For Owari, though, you have to spend that money on that. It's just, it will be worth it over time. You need it, and you should get up to the highest upgrade, the highest improved farmland here in Owari is what you should aim for eventually. Let's see here. Taxes, yes. Taxes, you don't need them on any other level but very low, except for during autumn, which is the harvesting season. It's one of the things in this game that's it's a little shallow. They could have did more with that because there's no point in playing with the taxes. It's just you keep it on very low, very low, very low, and then during autumn you put it on very high and you make all your money and then you bring it back down to very low. And that's it. That's just the entire thing for the entire campaign is doing that. The only times that you're gonna have to put it on very low during autumn is like if you just happen to convert to Christianity in that turn, and then your people are kind of upset, you might have to put your taxes down to very low for one harvest season, you know, or there might be a few other instances where you need to put your taxes down very low. Like, for instance, the daimyo's influence is only felt with provinces that border Owari. So, for instance, if I take Omi, and then I own Omi and Owari, that's fine because it borders Owari, and then my daimyo is going to be nearby, so its influence is going to be reaching that to keep the loyalty high. However, if there's a break in the chain, you know, and I own Owari and then also Kawachi, well, his buff, is like leadership buff, does not reach Kawachi. At least I think that's how that works. I know that that's how that works in medieval Total War, and I think that also is how that works here in Shogun. I've seen some evidence of that being the case. For instance, I feel like there was a time very, very early in my Shogun career when I had my daimyo, simply, he didn't even die, he just had to retreat to a castle, and just by retreating to a castle, that basically cut off his influence from the rest of my domain, and a lot of my provinces went, had a revolt in them, because the daimyo's influence was being cut off from the rest of the territories. This is going back years, this memory, so I'm not 100%, but I think that's how that happened. If you have any insight into that, I would be curious to hear your stories or your opinions on that. It definitely is a thing in medieval Total War, but I think it is also a thing here in Shogun. So in any case, when we do eventually buy Kawachi, we might have to keep taxes on very low for one of the harvest seasons, but hopefully that's not too too harsh. So yep, very low, building that, training this stuff, and let's see, I don't have, it's just Oda Nobuhiro is my only son. Making 196 koku. Ooh, man, that is rough. That is rough. So I think we're ready to end our first turn. Nothing happened. All right, moving on. Yamashiro. It's autumn, so let's bump those taxes up to punitive. Punitive taxes, I will be making 359. Hot damn, look at that. Again, not building, just going to continue building that, not going to train anything. Making 1,109 koku. All right, so that's an average harvest right there. And we can spy on this. See, this is why this is scary. There's 3 warrior monk units and 3 archer units in Yamashiro right now. And that includes a 3-star general, a 2-star general, and a 1-star general. Like, oh god. That's terrifying. That's terrifying. Winter. Taxes very low. And do nothing else. Nothing else. I probably will cut out a couple turns here because I'm literally going to be doing nothing except for this. I just want to show you this. There's 2 archers and 1 Yari Samurai here in Kawachi. They also have a famous archery dojo, which is going to give +1 honor to the archers that are trained here. Not freaking bad, eh? How much will this cost? It's going to cost 1,200 koku to bribe this. So I don't have enough right now, so I just have to simply wait, which is rough, but that's how it goes. So I'm going to wait around, and I'll probably see you when I finally have that money. A few turns later, now my improved farmland has been finished, so now my profit is looking like it's going to be up to 450 koku, and that is going to be enough to get the job done here. So looks like we have, oh, yeah, and that's a poor harvest right there. So there you go. Now I have 1,364 koku, and now I should be able to place the bribe. Yep, offering 1,200. Yes, please. And there's no guarantee that they're going to take that. In fact, there's, it could take a few turns before they actually do accept, in which case, yeah, it's rough. But, whatever, you just keep waiting until finally they accept. The Hojo clan are sending an emissary this way, which implies that they are pretty close to offering me an alliance. That's the nice thing about this, is that even though it sucks not having an emissary that can go around talking to other clans, still, they will come to me soon enough. So I will be making that sweet, sweet alliance income in due time. since I plan on spending 1,200 koku on that bribe, that just leaves me with 164 koku left, and there's nothing I can buy for that money except for, you know, Ashigaru, and nope, not doing it. Just gonna keep hanging out here. So let's see if they accept this bribe. The Hojo are gonna talk to me, and yes, so my emissary found the general to be too loyal to his master. He was unable to persuade him to join us. That's okay. We'll just simply try again. Lord Hojo has sent an emissary. Will you grant an audience? Yes, 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 please. Let's go into the throne room.
My lord, while rogues and bandits plague both your...
It is really too bad that the audio in the throne room is cut out. Yeah, it's something that the Steam version has issues with, which is, yeah, too bad. But yes, accept the heck out of this.
Buddha's compassion go with you.
Buddha's compassion go with you, my friend. Yeah, thank you. This is also nice to kind of jump into the throne room to look at this map here. You might not really get much out of this looking on your screen, but I can at least see the locations of the other clans' provinces, and it kind of shows me the progress that they're making, and it shows me, you know, the station of the enemy, well, the rebel factions as well. So I might jump into here, but I don't like to talk too much from this perspective because you're not really going to see much. So I can jump back into here, and I can kind of tell you from memory what I saw. Imagawa has Totomi and Saruga. Takeda has Kai and Izu. Hojo, it starts off with just Sagami, and they get stuck. Like, there's nothing for them to do, I think. Yusugi, I think they just have like Kazuke and Musashi, I think, maybe. And then Takeda also have Aki, I think. There is no Mori clan in the 1530 start date, which is unfortunate because it kind of leaves the southern portion of Honshu very barren. You know, it's just like rebels and then the Takeda, and that's it. The Imagawa clan also have a few provinces up here. I think they might have taken like... They start off with Haizen. They might have taken another one. And then the Shimazu have Osumi, Satsuma, and Higo, is what I believe I saw off of memory. So just to fill you in there, and let's keep trying to get these rebels. Now that a few turns has passed, and I still have not been able to get this rebel army to join my cause, but I'm going to keep trying here. But I do have a bit more money now because another harvest has passed, and since we last spoke, I have had a few more plans come to my doorstep. The Yusugi and the Imagawa have both proposed an alliance, and I've accepted both times. There is no penalty for breaking alliances in this game. It's not like medieval Total War, where if you attack someone that you are allied to, you will lose influence, or you will gain any sort of treachery rating or anything like that. No, nothing like that happens. You get money if you are in an alliance, and then if you're not in an alliance, it doesn't really matter. But also, like, I don't think... Honestly, like some factions, I think it's more predisposed based on the personality of the daimyos, and there are daimyo personalities written into this game, so there is that. Some factions are more predisposed to keep alliances, like the Hojo and the Shimazu will typically be pretty good bros, but then other factions like the Takeda are not as much. And yeah, like that's, you can kind of read about the daimyo personalities. I don't think you can see mine because I'm me, but for the other daimyos, when I come across them, I can kind of show you what their personality is and what you know, what's going to drive them. So in that case, like if you're friends with someone who's going to like keep their alliance, you can kind of trust the Hojo and the Shimazu, but that's kind of about it in that regards. Now that I have a little bit of money, like surplus, right? So I can keep trying to bribe for 1,200 koku. But now let's go back to building. And I think that superior farmland for 350 koku, this is going to take 5 turns, 5 seasons to build. And this is going to be a 40% increase as opposed to the 20% increase. So I think that that's going to be a good spend. And should I start training soldiers now? I don't really feel like training soldiers yet, but maybe. Let's wait, because I want to make sure that I have enough money to spend on this. because when I take Kawachi, I will have immediate loyalty issues or public order issues, and I will need to have money available to train someone up and start building a border fort or a border watchtower immediately so that I can increase the loyalty. So I think that's going to be the play here. That's going to leave me at 2,000. It's going to leave me 800 koku, and 800 kokus. Yeah, that'll be fine. That's enough money to build those things and train those things. So I think that's going to be the play. Let's keep moving on. Ah, good news. Clan Rebels, General Miyoshi Yoshitsugu. Good news, my lord. The general has accepted your bribe and will be joining your forces. Awesome. So now I finally have Kawachi. And they're not happy. Yes, they're a little upset here, and it just happens to be autumn. So this is the time of year where I would like to be making money, but unfortunately, I will have to keep taxes on very low. And how's things looking? Population loyalty, 55%. That's not good. Yikes. So what can we do? We can train soldiers. Each unit's going to increase the population loyalty by a bit more. And the other thing that we can do is start building a border watchtower. This is going to increase the population loyalty by a little bit. And it's also going to give me vision on all surrounding provinces, which is going to be nice because it's nice to keep an eye on Yamashiro and then Ki as well. In fact, I mean, shit, this border is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 provinces. So Kawachi is a good province to have the border watchtower. Typically, I don't build that building too often, but it has its uses in certain circumstances. And then, yeah, this is why I saved that money. 200 koku to build that. Unfortunately, it takes 2 turns to build, unlike in Medieval Total War where it only takes 1 turn, which is much better. I like that in Medieval Total War a lot better. But yeah, in any case, I'll get that going. Get the samurai archers with the superior honor from that famous Bojo. Archery dojo, that's what it's called. And yeah, we probably will face a rebellion here, but that's going to be okay, I think, because I would be the defender, and I would be defending a river. So if they wanted to attack me, come at me, bro. We'll see how it turns out. Now, let's see. Do I want to... Now my emissary is free. He can do what he want now. You're a free man. So let's see. Imagawa, Hojo, Yusugi. It would be nice to talk to the Shimazu and the Takeda. That would be the 2 remaining clans left. And let's see here. How much... I'll go down to Kai and talk to the Takeda clan. Or go all the way. Is there a nearby port? Yeah. So that port would take... Yep, that would take forever. So let's just work my way... Let's just work my way back in this direction. I probably still will not train any units here in Owari just because knowing that my next harvest is going to be pretty poor. In fact, making, so I'll make 1,100. I want to make sure I spend a lot of money though on archers here in Kawachi just to make sure I can hold off any forces here. And that's going to be my priority with the next year with that poor harvest. So, I think I still want to hold off on training any units here in Owari for now. So let's drop a save. Very low taxes and the turn average harvest. So I have 1,654 koku. Okay. Okay, so not much. Now they have 4 warrior monks in Yamashiro. That's terrifying. Also, Yamashiro gives a honor bonus to any units that are trained here. So these are all like jacked. They're all tough and scary. Buddhist temple, archery dojo. Yeah. Yep. And I did not get a rebellion. Wow, that's incredible. Population loyalty is 76%, and I can just keep training archers here. Now, since I know how much money I have, and since I know that I need at least, what I need is 1,200 koku for this entire year's worth of archers being trained here in Kawachi, I know that I have enough money left over to spend on Ashigaru. So let's get going on that. How much time? 1 more turn before the superior farmland is finished. That's probably going to be it for building an Owari here, at least until next year. So yep, very low training here. training here, building that and building that. That looks good. Tax is low. Emissary has moved. Let's drop a save and let's move on. So, Border Watchtower has been finished here in Kawachi. And the Superior Farmland has been finished here in Owari. Okie dokie. Let's keep moving my emissary. And how are things looking here? Now, yellow's good. Yellow is at 116% population loyalty, so nice. Yeah, I'll take it. Let's keep training archers. And let's keep training Ashigaru. And do I want to build anything else here? I think for now, just focus on the units because I do, as I mentioned before, I do want to move on and take Ki. Now, Ki is going to be easy enough. It's just an Ashigaru and a archer unit. So that should be attacked. It would be nice to attack them in a way that they don't retreat, but that's going to be tricky because it's so weak that it's going to retreat from anything. Even if I brought just 2 units myself, like an archer and an Ashigaru, or, you know, like an archer or in a Yari Samurai, there's a good chance that they would retreat. It would be nice to not have them retreat because it would be nice to just fight them separately as they are here, instead of them retreating back to like Isa, where, you know, they're going to be stronger. Oh, shucks. A ninja is stalking one of my emissaries. Oh no. He's in danger, my lord. He had just made it to Mikawa as well. Let's see if he survives this assassination attempt. Goddamn. You got me. Well, that is unfortunate. And, oh man, another unfortunate thing. So, 2 of my allies have already engaged in hostilities. This is going to be the Yusugi clan and the Hojo clan. In my experience, the Yusugi are more powerful than the Hojo, so I would like to remain allied to them. They also have a greater chance of taking Shinano, which would put them closer to me, I guess. So, I would want to remain allied to the Yusugi. Now it is tempting to train another emissary so that I can send him on his way to try to get additional alliances for us. It just also feels better to have a bit of map agency, a bit of, you know, looking around and poking around. It doesn't feel good just being stuck here, not knowing what is going around. Obviously, I can look in the throne room and check out the map, but still, it's nice to kind of see enemy forces and their compositions and the buildings that they have in their provinces. And yes, it is also nice to be able to talk diplomatically with other factions. So it's very tempting to train another emissary and send him on his way to the Takeda clan and try to get that alliance with them so I can start making some money off of them. And then I could do that also with the Shimazu clan. But I could also end up just feeding this ninja who might still be in Mikawa. I could end up just feeding him more experience, which also would be annoying, which is, it's a little scary. It's a little scary. Gosh, it's tempting. It's really, I really like having emissaries out and about, but that also kind of feels like a luxury that I cannot afford right now. Or maybe I should. Maybe I should. How many? I have plenty of spears. Plenty of Ashigaru for now. So yeah, let's get an emissary. And let's hope that he can stay alive. God damn, just like that. I just trained him. Oh man. Oh, hey, yeah, my emissary got him this time. Awesome. Sweet, good job. Good harvest, making 1,484 koku. All right. Hopefully they don't have another ninja floating around. And so the goal, what I'm reaching for right now, I have seen an army of 5 archers and then 1 Yari samurai defend Kawachi against a pretty formidable attack from Yamashiro in my training, so, or in my practice. So that's kind of like the baseline for what I'm thinking of, having an army that can defend Kawachi, and then having a few units that can come out to Ki and take this. Maybe like, I don't know, 2 more archers maybe, and just come and take Ki. Just push off these rebels and take it. Bit more money, be nice. And then Owari, the idea would be I would leave my son here to defend Owari, leave him with, say, like 4 Ashigaru and maybe 4 archers, and that should be enough. And then build up another stack of like 8 Ashigaru, and then supplement that with another 8 archers from Kawachi, and we can pinch in and take Issa. And that is the idea. Probably need a full stack to take on Issa. In fact, I probably should build a border watchtower here in Owari at some point so that I can spy on these neighboring provinces. Now, should I also get going on some more economy upgrades for Kawachi? Since I don't have a ton of money here, and it's going to take 1,200 koku to train up 4 units of archers here in Kawachi, maybe I should not be building Ashigaru and Owari in this year. If I just build archers, or if I just train archers in Kawachi, then I would have just enough money to start building an improved farmland here. And the income, the base income is 420 koku, which is pretty good. So yeah, that's probably going to be the play. Just archers and improved farmland here in Kawachi, and then nothing here in Owari. Unfortunately, the 3rd tier upgrade is going to cost 450 koku, which is, it's a bit expensive for where I'm at right now.
Noble Lord, excellent news! You have a son!
Hey, that is excellent news. I wonder what his name could be.
Now we disappear.
Oh shit, whoa.
Well, what must we think of it?
Okay. So Lord Hojo has been killed in battle and he has no heirs, so that is it for the Hojo clan. Holy shit, wow, that was fast. That was fast. I need to jump on into the throne room and see what is going on in the north, because that is scary. Like, the less factions there is in the north, then the faster that they might consolidate the north. Right now, the Yusugi are looking strong. Ooh, it looks like, okay, so let me jump on, let me show you. Let me show you on a map that you can understand. So yes, Imagawa has Shinano. That's a very good province, so good for them. Are they at war with anyone? They're at war with the Shimazu. So they have provinces down here as well, and they are fighting the Shimazu down here. Okay. Interesting. The Takeda have taken Sagami, which is a rich province, which is good for them. A lot of times the Takeda get stuck as well, but not in this case. And then the Yusugi have like a few of these provinces, which are rich provinces. So yeah, that might be good, having like 3 like moderately strong factions instead of like 1 or 2 strong ones and then 2 weak ones. That might be better, the little trifecta between the Yusugi, Imagawa, and Takeda. That might keep them busy for longer, maybe, or maybe that's just hopeful thinking, I don't know. But yeah, let's keep moving on for now. I think what I will do is I will attack Issa or Ki in the next year, just because I want to make sure that I have a full new treasury to be able to invest in Ki, you know, like build, you know, watchtowers and stuff, because I'm assuming that the loyalty here might be a little bit precarious when I first take it. So I want to make sure that I have enough soldiers to take Ki and invest in its infrastructure to make sure that it stabilizes right away. So, yep, let's keep training archers. Oh yeah, my new son, Oda Nobunaga, yeah, the man himself. So he is going to be one of the best heirs in this game. As you can imagine, he is one of the 3 great unifiers of this time period. He is going to come out as a 5-star general when he comes of age. So it's going to be very important for me to keep an eye on him and make sure that when he does come of age, I want him to be in a cavalry archer unit. I want that mobility. That's just how I like my generals on horses. Just how I like it. So I'm going to keep very close tabs on his development. Just make sure that he ends up in the right unit. With a brand new harvest, I just made 810 koku. So it is go time. I can't sit around any longer. That's not a lot of money. So I definitely have to go in here. So let's take my 4 archers. I do have a 1-star general here, which is a nice little bonus. Kanamori Moritomo. Should I bring you to Ki, or should I leave you behind to defend Kawachi? It's tempting. Let me bring you on campaign. So yeah, let's attack. Let's attack Ki. I'll leave behind 7 archers, 1 Yari samurai. That should be plenty to defend, even though Yamashiro is like terrifying. There's 4 warrior monks and 6 archer units. Yeah, hot damn. Yeah, that's a lot. So should I keep training, or should I like save money for Ki? I think, let's see. I need to build a castle, and I probably need a border watchtower, and that's going to be 450 koku. Yikes. It'd be nice if I had more alliances. Jesus, yeah. I'm working on it. I saw that Keita Daimyo go to Kai, so I'm almost able to talk to him. Okay, let's train 1 more Yari Ashigawa here in Owari. That should not break the bank, hopefully. Fingers crossed. And yeah, let's go in, and I doubt that we're going to get a battle in. I'm assuming that they're going to defend. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. I don't believe this. I think that they will just retreat, but for the time being, it'd be so nice if they actually defended this. And it'd be so nice if we had a chance to get 2 units off of the field. Oh shit, it's winter. Let's see. Well, I just have archers, so I should not fight while it's snowing, because that's going to diminish the effectiveness of my ranged units. So let's fight on a fine day. And Ki. Yes, Ki. Is it cool? It's a cool province. Yes, it's kind of neat. There's kind of like this like ravine that goes down the middle, and it turns to the right over there. There is forest in the back, and that's typically a pretty good location for the AI to hide in. But sometimes it can be tricky, because I've had it where like I will walk down one side of the ravine, and then they switch over to the other side, and I'm like, oh shit, let's go over to that side. And then go over to that side, and they switch back to the other side again. I'm like, oh god damn it, come on. So sometimes there is that element there, but in any case, let's get formed up, and let's get ready to go here. Right off the bat, I'm just going to be moving, as I mentioned, down the left side. It's a little bit foggy, so I don't have great visibility here. But I am going to assume that they are in the forest off in the distance. Yeah, that's what I suspected. That's too bad. Yep, that's unfortunate. Oh well. At least my general gets some experience. I believe they do get experience for this. I think that does count as a victory for them. So that's good. Yep, general promoted. So now he is a 2-star general. Kanamori Moritomo. Yes, that was a good job in that battle. You did well. You scared him off, man. You scared him off. We are already at 100% loyalty. That's good. That means that we will not get a rebellion as long as we stay at above 100%. So that's dope. Let's see. If I don't need a border watchtower, then I don't want to build one. I feel like getting a castle is good. Castles take 2 turns to build, 250 koku. This is the tier 1. What this allows me to do with obviously it allows me to build higher tier buildings, but the castle also really just allows me, it gives me something to retreat to. So for instance, if I'm trying to hold on to a few provinces with only like 1 army, but then a few provinces just border that one province. Like, here's an example. Like if I wanted to, let's say I owned Isa, Omi, Mino, and Mikawa, but I only had one army. Well, how would I defend all of those provinces with only one army? Well, if I have a castle in every single province, then I can garrison each province with just one unit and just the single army in the central province. And then if anyone attacks any of my outlier provinces, I can simply retreat back to my castle, and then I can reinforce with my central army in the next turn and push back the enemy and take back that province. The downside to that strategy is that the enemy can ransack and destroy some buildings just by taking the province without having actually taken the castle. So if you are building stuff in these outlier provinces that you are not fully garrisoning, then you risk the danger of losing some of your buildings. But the upside to that strategy is obviously that you get to defend more territory with less. So that's going to be the idea there. In this case, I don't really... would they attack? I kind of don't think so. Key, by the way, is decent. Farm income is 270 koku, and that is decent. It just so happens that my other two provinces are really good, but like 270 koku is fine. And this does give a honor bonus to any warrior monks that I train here. Now, here's the thing. Should I train warrior monks? Maybe I should. Just to help me take central Japan, there's definitely an argument to be made. However, that would require teching up to a large castle, which is the tier 2 castle. That itself takes 5 turns to build, I believe. In fact, I think I could see it myself. 4 turns. Yep, 4 turns. And then I would have to build the Buddhist temple, which, how long does that take? Does that take 5 turns? It's a bit, it takes a lot of time, a lot of money. The large castle costs 500 koku. The Buddhist temple costs 750 koku. And, by then what? Then am I finally ready to take Issa? No, I don't think I wait that long. I think I take Issa with archers and Ashigaru because that's what I have. And then I don't have to wait that long to take this province. Then the question is, should I at least have monks, though, to take Yamashiro? And I still think the answer is the same. I should just take it with monks and Ashigaru. That's kind of the direction that I'm going in, but I could change my mind on that, and I would be interested to hear your opinions on that going forward. And I will talk more about the monk dilemma going forward. But you know what? That is all going to have to wait until next time. As always, I hope you have enjoyed this episode. I know it was definitely on the slow side of things, but I think you can tell that this is a precarious position to be in. It's a pretty tricky start. I think that I have it figured out, but this is about as far as my practice runs have gone. So it's not going to take long before I am in uncharted territory regarding this campaign. So I'm very excited to see how this all turns out, and I hope you are as well. If you have any tips, tricks, and suggestions, please leave it in the comment sections down below. I'd love to hear your advice regarding this campaign, because I'm going to need all of the help that I can get. This could be a tough one, so I hope you're in for a fun time here, and I'm going to be looking forward to getting back to you. So until next time, this has been Concept playing Shogun Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.